G'day everyone, welcome back to Zero Access Footy. We are going through our season review segments, and this time around we're going through our middle six. So we've got a few teams who just missed out on finals and some others who managed to squeak in, including some prelim finalists. In the first position that we are going to be looking at is the official off-season winners. We've got the St Kilda Saints. Those are the guys in 12th position
My
for
goats.
season 2025. So, lots can be said about their off-season, but we want to first get into how their general season went. How did those players go? And I'll let you absolutely swing for the fences here because you know much more about how this team went this year than I did.
That was a lot of dog shit.
Except for...
Nas.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's probably
see,
the best way you could describe
It's a
it.
good script, isn't it?
Yeah.
Works well. We'll start with our younger players. I was really impressed with a lot of them. We had 4 straight years of hitting the draft, and pretty much all of them have now debuted, which is really good. We had, I think, 9 or 10 debutants this year, which is the second most behind Essendon, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I was really happy with that. I thought that was pretty good for the most part. Our middle-aged players were non-existent because we didn't have any. Max King, Hunter Clark, and Liam Stocker were like the only 3 in that age bracket, and they're all dog shit, or didn't play.
I was going to say, Max King.
You know,
I know you've swung for him for as long as I've known you.
He's 6'7" feet tall and is a bit too tall for his liking.
Oh my god!
Sorry, I had to do it. And then our older players were bit iffy. Jack Steele wasn't great. Rowan Marshall didn't have a good season. Jack Sinclair was pretty good. Jack McRae actually thought was a pretty good recruit in the end.
Yeah.
And who was left? Brad Hill.
Brad Hill was always on and off.
Brad Hill was the greatest player of all time this year. You know why? Getting Naz for 2 years.
There you go. I was going to say there's something that he did that I'm forgetting. It's the Nazari signing.
Yeah,
he
that
worked
was-
off the field to
Yeah.
make sure all the play on the field wasn't for nothing.
Yeah. There was one shining moment all year, and that was Jack Viney's 3-vote game.
The Marvel miracle.
Yeah, the Marvel Viney miracle.
The Viney. Yep. 3 votes for that performance. So deserved. Very
Absolutely deserved.
Well done, Jack Viney.
Yeah, people are going to be telling their kids in 10 years about that type
I went to
of
the Jack.
performance.
You can tell your kids I went to the Jack.
Yeah,
Viney
I
game.
stayed all the way through for the Jack Viney performance where he was stuck on the wing.
But in general, how do you think this season stacked up?
Yeah, not great. I'm not really happy with it. I mean, we didn't play good football for most of it. Like, we were really bad defensively, and we sucked offensively because we didn't have anyone tall.
The West Coast was probably your lowest point. And
Yeah.
potentially, arguably, all the wins you had, the 4-win streak that pushed you out of the bottom 4.
No, I was happy with that because it kept Naz.
I guess so. Yeah.
And no matter what happened, we kept Naz.
You got to think long term, don't you?
Like, we haven't lost any players so far.
Yeah.
Except for potentially Zach Jones.
How do you feel about that? Out you get, champ. But obviously, with St Kilda, everything you're looking forward to is upcoming. Everything that you're looking forward to is 2026.
And beyond.
Because, well, I guess and beyond, yeah. But right now, I just focus on 2026, making sure that this off-season was actually good.
Yes. Well, I don't want to go too far with our off-season, but it was pretty good so far.
Realistically, you did what you wanted to do.
Yes.
You achieved what you wanted, and that was major signings. You really convinced the free agent class that St Kilda is the place to be for the next however long their contract lasts.
Yeah. Obviously, we're recording this before the trade season fully finishes, so we don't know the full ins and outs. And also, we don't know about the draft yet because that's still a month away, just over actually. So there's still that sort of unanswered questions. However, I think for the most part, it was an okay season, but given Naz re-signed, I think you can put it into a good season.
Good season for the reasons you wanted it to be good. It would have been a bad season on top of the already awful season that you had on the field if you had lost Naz or you didn't bring in as many players as you would, somehow TDK didn't come in or Silvani went somewhere else. It wouldn't be as good as it is right now. So,
given we just talked about those 2 players and they came from Carlton,
the Carlton Blues.
it's a good segue straight into it.
Yeah.
Why is Brady Kemp doing that to Charlie Curnow? That's really
That's why
really
he wants
creepy.
to leave.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Also, Elijah Holland, you're on crack in this photo, mate. You are absolutely on something.
Yeah, he does look a bit
Fuck
scary
me,
there.
Jesus.
But in terms of the players for Carlton this season, Poorest
D-.
seasons, poorest seasons from a lot of them in a very long time. Cripps coming off a Brownlow season, nowhere near that this season. You could argue that it was because of how poor everything around him was, but TDK had basically checked out this season. Jack Silvani looked good at times, but couldn't keep himself on the park. Curnow, for some reason, seemed rushed every single time he had the football in his hand, like he had to do something by off his own boot. Mackay struggled to stay healthy. You could go on and on and on. Francis Evans is probably a little bit of a highlight. If you're relying on Francis Evans to be the thing that keeps you in
I'm
it.
just looking at their best and fairest leaderboard right now. George Hewitt won it.
Yep.
Adam Chera came third. He missed the last month. Nick Haynes came fourth.
Yes, that was funny. I remember Nick Haynes.
Tom de Koning played 8 good games, and he came sixth after almost not being able to breathe for 2 months. I'm not going to say that. That would have been really bad.
I'm very scared as to where you went.
Jack Silvani finished 9th.
Yeah, and he barely played.
He played 13 games.
Oh, God. Tells you a lot. Very
Really
much
does.
tells you a lot.
Yeah, they obviously had the whole off-field shit with the Luke Sayes incident right at the start of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Then halfway through the year, they had the whole graffiti at Icon Park stuff, which was
Oh
absolutely
my God.
hilarious.
Yeah.
They had a 5-hour meeting determining whether they should keep Michael Voss as coach.
Yep.
And then they had their CEO incoming in Graham Wright try to do his best.
He's trying to do his best. He's still trying.
I don't know if he is trying that much. And then they also had their star Ruckman leave and their best family name of all time, Silvani, leave.
Yeah, I think that's probably what stings the most. I think they all kind of they all had this slight hope that somehow TDK stayed, but
Nope.
in
Never
hindsight,
happening.
very clear that he wasn't going to stay.
Yep.
Silvani was just the one I think that you couldn't lose because the family name.
It'd be so funny if he plays 100 games for the Saints and his kids become the Silvani legacy of the Saints.
That'd be insane.
It'd be my favourite day of all time.
You'll be in the long haul for that one. But, yeah, players all around, just a really, really poor year for them.
At
really,
every
really
line.
poor.
Paddy Cripps was bad. Sam Walsh barely played. Harry Mackay and Charlie Curnow
And
didn't
even
look good together at all.
the players who didn't play, Jagger Smith,
Yeah. Nick
that should
Newman.
have been a home run trade for them.
Yep.
And they didn't even get to see the first year. And who knows, it probably could still be a home run trade for them. But you got to think of Jagger Smith when you're thinking about their next season.
Mm-hmm.
When you're thinking about their next season as well, they've brought in Ben Ainsworth, who isn't the biggest get in the world,
like his
but
fit, though.
again,
I do
it's
like
a
his
good
fit.
fit. It's a good get. I don't think it's bad. I think they've told Elijah Hollins that he's done.
Yeah, and there's no one wants him, so they're just going to pay him out.
Yeah. God, that's tough. That's
Yeah,
a very
well,
tough
don't
scenario.
snort. This is a message to you kids. Don't snort coke.
Yeah.
Really
yeah,
not a good idea.
Yeah. Drugs. No.
Drugs bad.
Drugs bad.
Drugs bad.
Drugs not good.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of what their off season is going to look like, obviously a lot depends on how they're going to do the Charlie Curnow trade. I also think it's going to be interesting, given the first round picks that they've got. They're going to have to trade probably both of them back with the Harry
Dean bid.
Yes, thank you very much. I didn't want to screw it up second time in 2 weeks. Getting better at this race. I appreciate it. They've also got the Adam Chera situation where he was potentially rumoured to be leaving or they wanted to trade him out. I wouldn't be surprised if no one wants him because he's just not that good of a midfielder anymore.
Yeah, he's just not up there anymore.
Yeah, I mean, for the draft this year, yes, they do have Harry Dean.
There you go.
There we are.
I wish North could get him. I
Yeah.
really do. I really like this kid.
He looks really good. And I mean, he'll fit alongside Wiedering and what's his name? Harry
Nick
O'Farrell.
Haynes.
No, Harry O'Farrell. By the halfway through point of next season after he comes back from his ACL, and I think that builds a really nice piece together with those players.
Yeah.
And then obviously you got Cody Walker you got to plan for as well, which is why they would want a future pick from Sydney.
There's a lot of positive despite how poor their off-season was.
There's going to be a
surprisingly.
lot of turnover though,
Yeah.
and it's going to be really hard for them to
I
click.
think once Cody Walker comes in, there's going to be a few seasons of quiet, like very quiet off seasons from Carlton, I reckon,
Yeah.
because of the fact that they want to get this group really moving together, really building a bit of chemistry. Because right now, from what it looks like, they're going to have absolutely no chemistry coming year or two into the future.
From the team that might lose Charlie Curnow to the team might get Charlie Curnow, the Sydney Swans.
Yeah, and really quite an opposite scenario. I think a lot of the players who played for Sydney, outside of a few really obvious ones, actually had good seasons. It's more the fact that they didn't get full seasons. Goulden was pretty good. Warner was pretty good. Heaney had a fantastic season. Nowhere near Brownlow's season, but he had some absolutely phenomenal performances.
Brodie Grundy.
Brodie Grundy had a potential All-Australian season. Like, these guys didn't do all that bad. I think a lot of it was just out of their own circumstances. Dean Cox, I mean, I think probably the least scrutinized year for a first-year coach you could think of, purely because it was out of his hands, some of the things that were going against him.
Yeah.
So I like where they're going. And in the episode 34 of the Zero Access Footy podcast, I had mentioned that I think they're going to be the biggest risers because they look to bring in Charlie Curnow. Obviously, this is for the upcoming part, so I'll try and keep away from that for the moment. But they are going to be healthy from everything on top of the additions they may get. It's just more a fact of how are they going to gel? How will they be able to gel in a way that brings them back to 2024 features where they were minor premiers, grand finalists, successful, or will they potentially become an injury-prone team? Relying on Brodie Grundy is an interesting thing, although relying is a bit of a heavy word. But yeah, Brodie Grundy's up there in age nowadays. He also isn't as impactful as you may think he is. I remember the game against North Melbourne where he should have wiped the floor with North, and while he did get all the hit-outs, not much hit-out to advantage.
Yeah, my question with Sydney is, even if they do get Curnow, I still feel that their list is relatively unbalanced.
Very true, yeah.
Because you look at that forward line and there's a lot of talent. You look at that midfield, it's very one way in a sense where you got the likes of Heaney, you got the likes of Warner in there. They don't really complement each other as much as you'd want them to.
It's kind of like having the same player at different stages.
Yeah. So the question is, do they maybe want to play Heaney more forward if they do have to give up Will Hayward in a Curnow trade? And I think that could very well be an ideal situation for them.
Yeah.
But then the big thing for me is defensively. Like, who do they pair alongside Tom Carden? Because you can't trust Lewis Melican. You can't trust Dane Rampy anymore, given his age. Nick Blake, he's not that type of player. That's just not who you want him to be.
Yeah, Blakey is much more of a sprint.
He's an offensive threat.
Yeah, exactly.
He's who you want with the ball in hand, not who you want defending Sam Darcy, who he had to do at times during the year. Yeah. So my thing is, if they do want to bring in Curnow, we've mentioned it before, is Logan McDonald that option down back? Or can they go for someone like Stephen May, who I think would fit perfectly in? He's got the culture issues, which is why he hasn't gone to other teams. Do they want to take the risk given the Bloods culture that they've been so well known for? I think it would be a good idea for them, and they wouldn't have to give up much at all. They've also got a good pick in this year's draft in Max King, not the St Kilda player, but the academy player for Swans, who's pretty much an Isaac Heaney build, but like a B-Tech version of him.
Yeah.
Who's that mid forward who can be decent in the air and can hit the scoreboard. So I think they've got that developmental piece who will eventually replace Isaac Heaney. Probably never going to get to his levels, but will still be a pretty good player. I think there's a lot of holes, even if they do get Curnow, that they still need to answer before they can contend for a flag again.
I think they're a finals team at the very least.
Yeah.
The thing is, their holes are visible, but their strengths are some of the strongest in the AFL.
Yeah.
100%. Their midfield and their rotation in there is so strong that it can sometimes hide those holes.
Yeah.
And Heaney's flexibility mid-forward also makes it so that he can provide some sparks. Papley always provides a spark every now and then. But I think, the big hole for me is that back line. If they can find a way to fix it, they could easily be top 4, as I actually have predicted.
From one dogshit backline to another dogshit backline.
The
Western Bulldogs. The Western Bulldogs.
Yeah, you had I had a lot of mid talk for these guys all throughout the season.
Yep.
Their talent is undeniable, but my God, this team has a knack for just balancing out how bad and good they are at football. You gave them an F/A to describe their season because, I mean, F against top 8, A against bottom 10. And it's so true, it's scary. They were mid in the most un-mid way I could have possibly imagined. But that seems to all come down now to the fact that their backline, they're trying to outgun teams every single time. And they can do it against the bad teams, but it's not easy to outgun every other team in the top 8 because, they're all offensive threats.
The second their midfield aren't winning every single contest, they cannot defend to save their life.
Fremantle in the last round is their biggest example.
Yeah, like as soon as their midfield isn't winning every ball and they can't play a forward half game where the ball's locked in and, the likes of Rory Lobb and O'Donnell can't step up and get in front of the forward, they've got nothing to do because they can't defend in transition, they can't defend one-on-one, they can't defend when the ball's being pumped in continuously with repeat inside 50s. And a lot of that is system. Part of that is obviously the talent that they've got back there, which they still technically are trying, but not really that hard. They missed out on Silvani.
That's the problem. They missed the guys that they wanted.
Yeah, they obviously missed out on Wilkie, but if you're willing to pay Wilkie $1.3 reportedly $1 million a year, why wouldn't you say to Silvani, okay, we're willing to pay you $900K a year, which is more than what St Kilda are offering, because we need your prototype of player.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to do it, how much are you really trying? And that's my concern, because you've got the likes of Bont, you've got the likes of Richards, you've got the likes of Libba, you've got the likes of Riley Sanders coming through the ranks, Joel Frazier is another one, and then you've got Sam Darcy and Aaron Norton, who both kicked over 50 goals last year. You got likes of Cody Waitman, who's coming back this year as well. Riley West had a great year. And then you look down back, and they've got nothing.
Yeah, it's like they've tried Sam Davidson at times, Jed Bussinger, who never managed to crack it in there. It's like they tried throughout the year while they didn't have the talent to work out, all right, someone's surely got to show a sign somewhere, and it never came. It never came. You could maybe argue, like, at the occasional time, Davidson, but I think he broke out more on that wing half-forward role once he was starting to get more into the forward line.
Because he doesn't want to defend.
Yeah, he started in the back and just found his way up forward because that's where he was most effective. This team has a knack for finding some fantastic offensive talent, but could not find anyone to lead them down back. Yeah, the only guy, Rory Lobb, who seems to be a genuine problem at times in that back line. But that's one player out of 6 who just could not, or who could manage to make a genuine impact. Bailey Williams wants to be a winger more often than not. Who else in that back
Bailey
line?
Dale's a half-back flanker who doesn't
running
defend as
half-back
well.
flank.
But I mean, if you're the Bulldogs, you've got to find a replacement down back, right? Mm-hmm. They've lost Liam Jones already. They're going to lose Buku Karmas to a trade as well. Then you're thinking, okay, who can they get? You could go for Sam Frost, maybe. You could go for Stephen May. Oh, no, we don't want him for cultural rations. Understandable, completely. Jordan Butts has been rumoured there. Adelaide are very staunch in the defence that we're not going to get rid of him because he's a really good backup defender, which he is. He's also a really good starting defender for a team like the Western Bulldogs. So what would they give up for him? Well, they've got pick 14 right now. They've got pick 33 and they've got 37. I'm willing to give up 33 and 37 for John Butts.
Yep.
And that gives Adelaide ammunition to go to Brisbane for Calmarche. If I'm the Western Bulldogs, I'm saying we don't care about picks. I'd almost be willing to trade pick 12.
You should be in. This team is 100% win now.
Absolutely.
I think this team has to be.
Absolutely.
Any other year, they would have made finals and they would be like, okay, what do we do to make the next step? They should not be looking to squeak into finals like it seems they do every single bloody season. Yep. When this team has been to multiple grand finals with Bont at the helm or Bont within the team, Libba in there as well. Like, this team has had pieces for so long to get. This team could be seen as a Geelong, like a mini Geelong, if it wasn't for their consistent late season blunders. It keeps happening, and they keep doing it because they coast so much on their talent. Talent is something they coast on so hard. So this upcoming season, they have to fill that hole. It's not like Sydney, where their strengths are seemingly able to cover up a lot of their problems, which is what got them to that first place finish last year. It seems that every single season, their holes come to bite them in the butt later on.
And whilst the Dogs can't seem to get any defenders in, the Hawks were able to last year, and it worked out pretty well for them, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these guys were the final stop before the eventual 9th place Dogs, as the order kind of suggests. But these guys took advantage of it. I think They got scrappy and managed to beat top 8 teams all season. That's probably the main difference between these guys, is that they actually showed up against these tougher teams. They did look a little sketch sometimes, but their really, really gutsy win against Adelaide in Tasmania is one that I always think about, because that game was a absolute gut buster. Like, that one was one that you had to really be a hardcore AFL fan to enjoy. But there's so many storylines regarding just the team that showed this year. The whole Tools situation down back. Will Day not being able to play consistently. James Sicily, I think, also was one that you were always questioning, like, will he be the right guy to keep these guys afloat all season? Tom Barras coming in, all-Australian Josh Battle, which I know you love very, very much.
If it gets mentioned one more time, I might leave.
But in general, the Hawks team got to where they wanted to somehow. I think they got to their bare minimum passing grade this season, because if you compare them to 2024, again, that was 2023. What was the season they made the prelim?
They didn't make a prelim.
No,
this year they made the
against
prelim.
Collingwood. When they lost to Collingwood, I think it was in the or was it Sydney?
Are you okay? Last year, they played the Bulldogs and then they played Port, and they lost to Port in the semi-final. Are you?
Yes. No, you are right. Never mind.
Are you?
Yeah, no. I'm thinking of something completely different.
You don't know ball.
I don't know ball. I've got no ball knowledge. Either way, Hawthorn in general.
You do with Riley's.
Shut up. Riley West and I have a very interesting past, all right? Just let's leave that in the past segment. Hawthorn.
Got to get Brad Johnson on that.
In general, this season was a pass, 100%. And with how they look to continue things into the future, you'd say that they're going to see a lot of success. They're going to see a lot more success as it comes by. I think these guys are going to be a perennial, at least semi-finalist, at least second-week finals team for the next couple of years, unless something horrific goes wrong. But in terms of a few, I guess, holes, the forward line, I think, was one.
Yeah.
Ginnivan was making some more moves to the midfield as the season went on. I think he started to see himself rack up more possessions and get into that rotation more and more. Also, a lot more talk about how smart he is as a player, which is just, like, comparing him to how he started at Collingwood. The fact that he's known for being a high IQ player is just something I never saw being added to his repertoire, so that's really funny. But in the forward line itself, how do they work that out? What do you think the answer is? Is it the tools? Can they do that more often now with the sub rule officially being scrapped? They can go to that tools system if they want to more and more often?
I don't know if they should go for it, because I don't see let alone three-pronged tool of Chol, Lewis, and let's say one of Deere or Gunston working together. And I don't see all four of them working together. Sam Mitchell went for it, and then with a week left in the season, he abandoned it. And I thought, really weird call to do.
Yep.
Really weird call. I understand wanting to try things, but if you're going to go for it, you almost have to stick with it.
Yeah.
And it just, it felt like they got unsettled by the end of the season a little bit with it. Even though they looked pretty good, I felt like there were moments where, you know, as much as Gunston could do as much as he could, the rest just weren't able to follow suit. And I think that's going to be the key question. How much do they want to phase in Kausha Deer for Jack Gunston next year? Because I think Lewis and Deer need to be two of the three. It's just whether they see Chol being able to do that or not. I personally don't. But they do have someone like Will McCabe coming through as well, who I like, but we just haven't seen anything of. And then the other hole is their midfield. And we saw Newcomb being one of the great step-ups that we've ever seen in finals.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, is he going to be able to do that with Day and Merritt there? But he doesn't need to, because Day and Merritt are there, obviously.
And I was going to say, and of course, the big thing about the upcoming season is, the Zach Merritt potential trade. It's potential, but like I think you've mentioned previously before, it's a lot of show. And by the time this video comes out, we'll know the answer. So we're going to presume that Merritt's in this team.
Yep.
This is a scenario where they're filling in a hole massively, especially with a bit of depth in Warpel going out. I don't know why I pronounce them Warpel. Either way, Warpel's out. Merritt's in. So I'd say, and I think a lot of people would say, 100% upgrade. will that be enough to get them to a grand final next year?
I don't know. Possibly. They'd probably want to get there. I do have a theory, but I'm not going to go with it yet because that will be saved for future. However, a team that does not want to live in the future anymore, a team that is living in the best now that they've ever had, the Gold Coast Suns.
Yes. Very positive season.
The greatest positive season.
Couldn't get any better.
Nah.
Literally hasn't gotten any better for Gold Coast than this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, players all round stepped up. Noah Anderson, Matt Rowell, Brownlow medalist Matt Rowell.
My guy.
My guy.
Never seen the bloke in real life ever, but my guy.
Your best mate. Noah Anderson as well.
Going to invite him to my wedding. He can pay for
it. Please.
Sugar daddy, please.
Oh, God. Noah Anderson, fantastic first season as captain. I mean, it's crazy to think he and Matt Rowell are the ones that took this team over the line.
It's not that crazy. Pick one or two.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. I guess more it's just the age of the blokes.
They're what?
They're
20...
my age. I mean, for you, that's old.
No, they're a year younger than you.
Yeah, well, even more to the point. They're 23. That is insane for two young 23-year-olds to be leading this club in the way that they are. The talent around them continues to step up. Jai Farah, stop that! Jai Farah, Ben Long, and then, of course, Ben King. He did fantastic work.
Don't mention Ben Long.
He had a great season for Gold Coast.
Had a great first half. Also, did I hear Jai Farah in that? Maybe you do know ball.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I've got to have more confidence in myself, man. Either way.
Who was their mid-season draft pick that they took that played like 8 games in the back half of the year? Used to play for St Kilda. Never played a game for Saints, but technically was on our list.
Oh, no, I don't care.
Got in a car crash.
St Kilda, who cares?
Oscar Adams.
That's awesome.
My goat. Number 48. Love you, bloke.
He'll compare nothing to Jib. We all miss Jib.
Crash while you're on cocaine again, mate.
No. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. Either way, let's ignore what Behm said. Probably going to cut that. Everything around this club is at the highest it's ever been and topped off with a fairy tale finish. David Swallow, realistically, the most fairy tale finish would have been David Swallow kicking that goal in a grand final. But for Gold Coast standards, that is the best thing that could have possibly ever happened to this club. So, now, with that all being said, what is their goal for this season? Because now we're over the hump. 15 years in.
Make a prelim.
Make a prelim? Yeah.
Yep.
Christian Petrarca has elected Gold Coast as preferred destination to go to and wants to get traded to Gold Coast. So there's some more that midfield is going to be fantastic.
Could you imagine Noah Anderson, Matthew Rowell, Christian Petrarca, Took Miller, and Alex Davies?
Alex Davies?
Yeah, my goat, Alex Davies.
Sorry. I forgot. He is the goat, isn't he?
Yeah.
But
got a team up with
on
Mitch
top
Owens.
of that, Jared Witts has been a trooper for them.
2 Asian brothers.
Just... My goats.
My goats.
And then add into that Zeke Euland is going to be coming around.
Yep. And Dylan Patterson.
Yeah, they've got so many academy picks coming through. It's almost unfair. And on top of that, they continue to see more academy talent come through. Jamara is probably the biggest question mark of it all. If he is going to land there, again, by now we would have known by the time this is uploaded, but as we're recording this, we don't know just yet whether he's there or not. But this team is probably the first Gold Coast team to ever become a destination.
No, what do you mean? They landed Gary Ablett Jr.
Oh, come on now. If Tasmania can get Nick Dacos, as we think he may,
they're not.
Then
sure.
Gold Coast getting Gary Ablett just seems more and more sensible. I mean, I guess power of hindsight, but yeah, this is the first time regular old AFL players want to go to Gold Coast. Insane. We live in a crazy time, we do.
We do. We really do.
We live in an insane time. But
yeah,
that is the middle 6 of the AFL for 2025. The next one of these you'll see will be part 3 of 3, the final version where we will go through the top 6. Lots of positives to go through with them, but we'll save it for that video and for that talk. So once again, appreciate you guys tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and just follow us on all other platforms. It'll be fantastic to see you there. Thank you again, Behm, for jumping in, and we will see you all in the next episode, presumably the next podcast episode. So appreciate you guys once again. We'll see you all very soon. Catch you later.
My fucking segues were so on point.